Hello, welcome back to Nail Chronicle for design number 2 of Halloween 2018. So this one should be a lot more simple. It's going to be using just my dotting tool set. From memory, I only used about 2 dotting tools in this, but it's up to you how many you want to use. So I started with these really bright, simple colors. Green, I'll pop the name down below. And so this is kind of like a zombie Frankenstein kind of style. Once again, this isn't actually my own design. I entered this as part of a competition where you had to recreate one of the 5 designs that were available. So this is my entry number 2. I started with the pointer finger and began to do sort of like stitches. And so you can see on this first one, I was still trying to get the balance of enough nail polish on the dotting tool. For me personally, it's a hard thing to grasp and a hard thing to sort of get right, but eventually I'll get there. Although I still find that I put too little or too much on there, but that's alright. It's a monster, it can look a bit rough. And it's only really for a bit of fun, so I'm not too concerned. So I just run the line across and then just put some other cross lines over the top just to create that sort of stitch effect. So on this nail I've put 3 on. You could do one big one and a little one, just have a bit of play with it, have a bit of fun. So onto my next nail, so I'm still using the same point, and I've moved on to creating some hair for the Frankenstein monster. This one actually scared me the most because I had to resist being neat to it. And just kind of go with it a little bit, but it was a challenging one. Yeah, so I just kind of drew out the guidelines and then just filled in the gaps. If you try and do it the other way around, I found it's more difficult than trying to do it sort of doing a line and then sort of guiding yourself and creating those guidelines for you. When I did this, I originally had it fairly straight, and then I realized the sides of the hair actually go down a little bit, so I've just extended those, which kind of, it looks a lot better actually because it looks a bit more natural, as much as a Frankenstein monster can look natural. So these are my hair for my Frankenstein monster. Cool. And using the same one, I am going to create the mouth. So the mouth uses the same technique as the stitches. So I'm just drawing a side across and also just drawing the lines. In case you can't tell, I have sped this video up because I was moving very slowly and taking my time with it, and that's something I recommend. Don't rush it because that's when things go wrong. So take your time and go slowly. Alright, so on to finger number 3. Okay, so here we're creating the base. I'm hoping you didn't hear my computer buzz at me then. It's just running low battery, so hopefully this finishes recording in time. So here we have the base, and I'm just going to colour in the bottom. I created this guideline just to, colour in the top, make sure I hit the point that I wanted to, and it just made things a lot easier. So I was kind of glad that I did this, and I've learnt from how to create guidelines without sort of guideline stickers. So I'm hoping I can use this technique in future nail art. So this is kind of why I like entering these competitions, is that it pushes me to go outside of my comfort zone and try and create something that's not, I guess, not something that I'd normally do, or maybe a technique that I'm not comfortable with, and so it forces me to practice with what I'm doing. So here I'm creating some more stitches as well on the pinky finger. So you can see we'll see in a second where I put on just a bit too much and it came a little bit thick, but you know, it doesn't matter. You can have a thick stitch, that's fine, as long as you still think it looks like a stitch. It doesn't really matter. I got a little bit of ambitious and tried to put the 3rd one on there. I probably should have stuck to the 2, but yeah, you live and you learn. So onto the next colour. So you'll notice I've tried to group the colours together. It just makes cleanup easier with the dotting tool. So moving on to a white for eyes, and also a little bit of decoration on one of the monster's hair as well. So I'm just using OPI white. Again, I'll chuck the name down below because I just don't have it on me at the moment. And so this one, you really want to make sure you get a lot on the bottom because you are doing a dot. If you don't have enough, it just looks a bit weird. But here we go. So here's the Frankenstein monster. My eyes always look terrible, no matter what. Even if I just draw them, it like on pencil and paper, it just looks awful. So yeah, it's a Frankenstein monster. It's not gonna look perfect, and that's kind of what I liked about this design. I picked it out of the simple category. Just have a bit of fun and play with it. I'm sure you guys, if you have a go at this, you'll probably create much better eyes than I can. But it's all a matter of fun. It's Halloween, so you know, it's not about being neat or being perfect or anything. It's just getting it on there. So here's there's the one eye that there's always one that just doesn't look right, and that was the one. That's okay. Alright, so then I'm moving on to the hair of the monster in my middle finger. So it kind of I put a little bit extra on here on the dotting tool, just because I knew I needed to drag it up. It doesn't matter if it ends up in the blob, because you just kind of pull it up anyway, which is it was a bit easier than to do the stitches where I had a very short space to work with. This one had a lot more freedom of movement as well, so I was able to just kind of drag polish along really gently, try not to capture the black underneath, or create too much space where you've missed a gap or something like that because you've pulled too much off. I did end up a bit jagged on that first one, so I just sort of kind of took a break, let it dry and a little bit, and then went back and fixed it up. And there you have it. So there's my funky Frankenstein nail art. So this is entry number 2 for Halloween 2018. I hope you enjoy. I'd love to see if you've gone and recreated this, or if you've got your own Halloween designs. Pop a link below, let me know so I can come check them out. I'd love to see them. Hit like, hit subscribe, and I'll catch you around later. Thank you. Bye.